You and what army, Bug?
What army? What army? Look around you, Crabs!
You planted grass?
Grass?
Hello my fellow comrades. Today I'm going to give you guys a very handy guide on how to achieve an S rank on Crazy Carnevil. I know there are a lot of people still struggling on achieving the S rank on some levels, so I created the poll to let community decide which of the hardest levels in Dark Deception I should start first, and Crazy Carnevil won. So I made this video. For those who don't know, S rank is only rewarded for beating the level in normal mode difficulty. If you try to S rank the level in easy mode, then the game will still only give you an A rank. Not a lot of people are aware of this. Here's a quick pro tip. In story mode, you should try beating the level in easy mode first. Then, you can replay the level again in normal mode, so you can play the level again with new powers with some extra skill points. Also, you will be more prepared, because you will know how the level goes. It can be very challenging to beat the level in your first try, especially monkey business. Now that we have those out of the way, it's time for the guide that you've been waiting for. Here are the S rank requirements in Crazy Carnevil. Before we talk about the map strategy, let us first understand the mechanics of the enemies in this level. The clown gremlins. Their mechanic is mainly focused on swarming the player with high numbers. In one of the death screen tips, when one clown gremlin see you, all members that belong to the same group knows where you are. In the first zone, there are clown cars that can spawn 5 clown gremlins each, and each floor has 2 clown cars. The clown cars are not affected by the difficulty, but easy mode can make clown cars spawn 3 gremlins instead of 5. In the second zone, there are 5 groups of clown gremlins. Each group has 5 clown gremlins. Using math we can multiply 5 groups times 5 gremlins, and we get the total of 25 clown gremlins. In easy and normal mode, the numbers are still the same, but their speed is completely different. I mentioned about the death screen tip, so here is a visual presentation on how their mechanic goes.
Hello, I'm Bob Ross, and I'm here to explain the visual presentation for you. Let's get started. Here you see the red circle is the player, and those gremlins with letters are the groups they belong. We have a first group, let's call them Group A, and the second group called Group B. If one of the members of Group A spots you, then all clown gremlins that belongs in the same group also knows your location regardless of where they are. For Group B, if they see any Group A member is chasing someone but they didn't see the player, they'll just ignore them. If I added Group C, D, and E, it will do the same process.
Now we are moving on to clown cars. Their mechanic is simply chasing the player down. When they get closer to a player, they'll make a stop sound like this. And for a half second it starts spawning clown gremlins one by one. When all clown gremlins are depleted, the car will stop following the player. They are faster than the player's movement speed and they can only appear in zone 1. If the clown gremlins in zone 1 get stunned, they will return to the clown car afterwards. Now we learned about the enemy's mechanics. Here's a guide on how to beat the level and get the S rank. Let's talk about zone 1. Also known as the obstacle course. Obstacle course has 2 floors, the top floor and the bottom floor. You will start at the bottom floor. There are 60 soul shards in total, 29 on the bottom and 31 on the top. The best strategy you should do is to get far away from the clown cars as possible. If the clown cars are trying to corner you, It's best for you to let them get too close and use your primal fear. That way, both cars will be stunned, and this floor will become temporarily safe. Here are some of the pro tips that you need to know for the first zone. The clown cars can't follow you from the green portal, so you can use it to escape without letting them drop their gremlins. The clown cars in the other floor cannot move unless you're in their floor, so this is just let you guys know about it. Save a stun orb for the clown gremlins. They are not counted as a bonus shard, so it doesn't matter if you ignore it or not. The bonus shards are the red glowing shards that lets you see the enemies in the map. You should collect it if you have a chance, otherwise you might end up on a pretty bad situation where you have to spend time hunting it down, even after you collected all the shards, which can cost your S rank. If the clown car spawns clown gremlins, wait for the car to spawn all of them, and use your primal fear. If you stun the clown car while it's dropping the clowns, it will continue to drop afterwards. Oh, I almost forgot about the traps. There are two different traps: the swinging hammers and Jack in the Box. The first trap we are going to talk about are the swinging hammers. They can be located on the lower region of both floors. It's very easy to get past by running through after the hammers hit each other or use teleportation. The second trap is Jack in the Box. Those are giant version of Jack in the Box and they can be found on the edges of the map. The Jack in the Box will momentarily play its signature music "Pop Goes the Weasel" before it gives a warning sound like this, and pops out a clown puppet to attack the red circle light for a half second. There's a glitch where Jack in the Box doesn't play its signature music and the clown puppet attacks with no warning sound. So, if that happens you can just wait until the puppet attacks or use teleportation. After you collect all 60 shards, the map will point you to the portal in the bottom floor and you will be in the small tent with ring altar. But when you try to collect it, you will get a message saying not yet, and the alcoves will start to switch. That's where one clown gremlin will spawn in and chase you down. In order to avoid it, you have to loop around the ring altar until you see a secret from the alcove that is also needed for S rank. Use primal fear and grab the secret quickly. After that, the green portal is revealed and you can proceed to next zone. After going to the roller coaster, meeting 4 Goliath clowns and some tripping moment. In zone 2, you will be in a fun house where you will have to collect all 220 shards spread around the map. As I mentioned before, there will be 25 clown gremlins as 5 groups per 5 members each. When one of them spots you, their respective group also knows your location. This is where the real fun begins. I made this video to help others make a good and efficient strategy. If you're only going to use speed boost and primal fear, the chances are for getting an S rank is very low. You need to use all the powers that was given to you in a right time and a right situation. In Funhouse, there are 2 new traps, the cannons and the clown cart. Don't confuse the clown cart as a clown car. The first trap are the cannons. They can be found on every square and rectangle room except the middle and the ball pit room. The cannons fire every few seconds, and they can give a warning sound like this. Right before all the cannons shoot the cannonball in the direction it is facing at the same time. There are 2 types of cannon rooms, the square room and the rectangle room. The square room has 4 pathways with 2 cannons. You have to check the cannons and avoid the direction it is facing before it starts to fire. The cannons cannot shoot the middle. The rectangle room has only 2 pathways with 3 cannons. It is more dangerous than the square room. To avoid it, stand between the cannons, or use speed boost and teleportation after it fires, which is a safer method. The second trap is the clown cart. It is found on the edge of the funhouse. It is the same clown cart you were riding, and it is the only trap so far that can travel on more than one spot. The clown cart's speed is much faster than the player's maximum upgraded speed boost, and it can only travel to the left. It can be heard when it gets closer. Another tip: when you're going to the edges of the funhouse, going left is much safer, because you will have more chance to react that the clown cart is coming behind you. You don't want to risk getting caught like the time I almost get killed by the clown cart in the corner. Here are a few ways to avoid it. 1. If you hear the clown cart coming, quickly turn around using the mouse wheel and teleport through it. 2. You can hide in the corners, so you won't get hit by the clown cart on its way. 3. When you find the open path, you can hide there and wait until the clown cart passes on. Here are the tips and tricks for the powers during the level. First power is speed boost. It allows you to transverse faster and break the red barriers, getting much distance from the enemies. If you're being spotted by the enemies and it's hard to break their line of sight, you can use speed boost to get as far away as possible and lose them. Collect soul shards faster. With speed boost, you have greatly reduced the time for collecting, and you'll have higher chance of getting an S rank. The second power is teleportation. It allows you to teleport through enemies and traps in a straight line. This power requires precision in order to teleport, and you need to make sure that there are no map objects or walls in front of you. This power is a great combination with speed boost. If you're planning to be sneaky, then you can use teleportation to get past the hallway without letting the enemies see you. I recommend you to upgrade teleportation more than speed boost, because the distance range is very important in some situations. Now, for the third power is telepathy. It reveals the enemy's auras through walls and line of sight. This is a better version of reveal shard, because of two things. 1. The telepathy will show every enemies in any range, so you don't need to look at a tablet to see where they are. 2. It can be used more than once. This power is very helpful, because it lets you know where the enemies are patrolling. If you were planning to go inside a mirror maze, but then you realized it's too risky with a lot of clowns inside, that's how useful the telepathy really is. It gives a lot of information. There's a rare glitch where the auras will just flicker in and out. It's like the enemies are trying to vanish in thin air. Before you plan to go any route, make sure to equip telepathy and go to the safe locations where the enemies are not there. If you are in a dangerous situation where the clowns are very close, make sure to use the telepathy and check for any open routes. We can call this strategy check and run. This can work on any situations. As an experienced player, I don't recommend you to upgrade telepathy because the duration and recharge time really doesn't do much, as you can only use it to know the enemy's location. You see the enemies, regardless of where they are, so this makes telepathy a more of a waste bin for skill points. Primal Fear. It can stun the enemies near the player's range, and they can be used more than once, which is better than the stun orb. This power can be very useful to stop the enemies from cornering you, so don't try to use on just one clown, unless all his buddies are very far away. You know, when one sees you, the whole group knows where you are. You can upgrade it to level 3 to make the range more decent, and make the recharge time shorter. If you know when to use Primal Fear, then you can maximum upgrade your speed boost and teleportation instead. Now, here are some tactics and the effective ways to get through Funhouse without dying while getting an S rank. When you start in the Funhouse here, it is very important to go for the mirror maze at the beginning. It is by far one of the most dangerous area ever to get the soul shards in the whole level, and the clowns will spawn on the edges at the start, which gives you more time to collect before they reach there. Make sure to teleport through the doorway to avoid getting seen by clown gremlin groups outside. The group from the top will be the first ones to walk in this area, so you have to collect as many shards as you can. You can try to be cheeky by standing in the doorway and use Primal Fear if the footsteps are getting closer to catch the whole group and give you more time to collect. Even when they are stunned, the chase music still triggers. If you manage to get all the shards in Mirror Maze, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Make sure you use telepathy to check for the clown gremlins and see for any routes where you can collect the shards peacefully. It is up to you on where you want to pick any safe places for collecting soul shards. If you went into a colorful trippy room, you can try to collect the soul shards on the ground first before using the portal, unless the clown gremlins are chasing you. The portal will take you upstairs where you can collect the soul shards without worrying about the gremlins, because they will never get up here. Speed boost is very important for transversing on this one, and for some reason the teleportation doesn't work. If you are trapped by the clown gremlins, using primal fear from the top still works on the bottom. Sometimes there is a glitch where clown can go up there and doing nothing. That's because one of their buddies bumped them into the portal. Always go left when you're going to the edges of the map and use your ears to hear the clown cart coming behind you. There's a slight chance that clown gremlins can patrol there. If you ended up on a bad situation where the clown gremlins are chasing you, prepare for primal fear. If your primal fear is on cooldown, use other powers as they are optional. Speed boost gives you more chance to run the enemies from their side, teleportation which is very helpful against groups, and telepathy to see where you can get away from the clowns. After you collect all 220 soul shards, all clown gremlins will disappear, so your escape is much easier. Oh, and the demon boy named Malak will spawn on which direction you are facing. So it's important to look at which direction where you want him to spawn, like the same tactic on Agatha, and start dashing your way to the exit portal which is on the opposite side of where you entered the funhouse. After exiting the funhouse you will be on the same ring altar tent, but this time the ring piece can be collected. When you collect the ring piece, there will be 2 clowns chasing you. Just do the same loop tactic as before, and keep 2 eggs in 1 basket. After surviving against 2 clowns, the portal will open, and you are finally outside of the carnival. There will be another trap which is the guillotine trap. Just teleport or run past them when the teeth rises up, and you can get to the portal. As expected, Malak will block the exit and you will be on a boss battle, and deal 4 Goliath clowns. When the boss fight starts, you should start running to the first Goliath on the left, because you will get a free hit in an early game. And this can help you save a bit of a time. You can get 1 clown gremlin, because the Goliath does not respawn them, unless 2 of their respective minions are killed. You can easily avoid the clown gremlins by looping them around in merry-go-round, which is the same tactic in the ring altar tent. When you are on the last Goliath clown, and it has 1 hit left, you can use primal fear on clown gremlins. After defeating all Goliath clowns, all remaining clown gremlins will disappear, and you can now go to the portal while Malak is chasing you. Remember to look which direction on where you want him to spawn. If you try to look at the wall before he spawns, he might try to spawn right beside you. Speed boost your way to the portal and that's it. You beat the level. About the lives in the S rank requirement, you can die 2 times and still get an S rank, but if you died before you managed to reach 250 shard streak, then your run is a complete loss. If you reach 250 shard streak, and there are clown gremlins everywhere, you can take a risk and hope you won't die. Losing a life does not only give you 2 more chances, it also resets the enemies back to their spawn point. Now for the last part that we are going to talk about is the location of the secrets. There are 4 secrets in this level. At the start of the level, go to the tent, where you will meet the clown car. Go left and climb up this ladder to the top. And there you go. The first secret has been collected. Oh, make sure you did that before you interact with a mallet, because the game will not save the progress. There's a trick where you can climb this ladder for less than 5 seconds. To do it, pause the game and go to options. Set the resolution scale slider to 0. Then that's it. You climb up and down without wasting too much time. This method depends on how much frames you have in your PC. When you can climb this ladder without doing this trick, then just ignore this method. For the second secret, make sure that you're at the bottom floor and go to right corner of the map. If you see the green portal, then go there, and you will be teleported to a hidden room with a secret. The clown gremlins and the clown cars cannot follow you here, so this can be a good place to recharge primal fear in case you are being trapped. For the third secret, as I've mentioned before, it can be found in the ring altar tent right after zone 1. The last and final secret, go to the below region of the funhouse and look for the secret door. Open the secret door, and you will find the last secret. That's it. Crazy Carnevil wasn't as bad as Monkey Business and Deadly Decadence when I first played it. Thanks for watching. I hope you find this video helpful and enjoy your new year in 2020. I'm so grateful for being part of this small community, and looking forward to keep you guys entertained and informed from this channel. Well, point before this video ends, I want to give a special shout out to Mozutaka for his speedrun video of Crazy Carnival. He managed to S-rank this level in 22 minutes. That's impressive, and he earns my respect as a veteran player. I'll see you comrades next time. Goodbye.